The dumpster lid slammed shut on my daughter's oxygen tank while she gasped for air on our porch. Dying. Rules are rules, Karen sneered, arms crossed, unaware a badge and gun waited in my glove box that morning.
I'm Sarah Chen.
Single mother, raising 12-year-old Mia who battles cystic fibrosis, needing oxygen daily to breathe. Our cul-de-sac in Ashford Pines looked postcard perfect. Mailboxes uniform, lawns clipped, silence enforced by HOA President Deborah Voss. Deborah ruled 15 years unopposed, fining anyone whose flagpole tilted or whose trash cans peeked past curfew. Neighbors whispered about her temper but paid fines quietly. Terrified of lawsuits, she threatened over crooked shutters. I kept Mia's medical equipment tucked discreetly by our door, hoping to avoid Deborah's obsessive property inspections entirely. One Tuesday, Deborah spotted the oxygen concentrator cord snaking across our porch and photographed it, lips curling. Medical clutter violates aesthetic standards, she announced, taping a violation notice directly onto our front door. I explained Mia's condition calmly, showed her the doctor's letter, but Deborah waved it away, unmoved. Everyone has problems, she said coldly. Doesn't mean you get to ruin our curb appeal, sweetheart. The fines started small, $25 weekly, then doubled when I didn't move the tank fast enough. I appealed to the board, but Deborah controlled every vote, smiling as neighbors avoided eye contact nervously. She began patrolling our house nightly, flashlights sweeping our porch, documenting every hose and tube like evidence. Mia grew anxious, asking why the scary lady kept staring through our windows during her breathing treatments. Deborah posted photos of our equipment in the community newsletter, captioned "Blight threatens our property values." Neighbors I'd known for years started avoiding us, whispering, worried about association with Karen's wrath. I filed a formal complaint about harassment, but the HOA lawyer, hired by Deborah, dismissed it instantly. My fines climbed past $600. A lien threatened against a house I could barely afford. One afternoon, Deborah cornered me at the mailbox, hissing that disabled excuses wouldn't save my eyesore. I recorded that conversation secretly, tucking my phone deeper into my coat, sensing I'd need proof someday. She demanded I store Mia's tanks inside a locked shed, ignoring that emergencies required instant, unobstructed access. I begged the fire marshal for guidance. He confirmed shed storage violated safety codes for oxygen equipment. Deborah didn't care, insisting HOA bylaws trumped fire codes, threatening foreclosure if I refused compliance. My hands shook nightly, calculating fines against rent, wondering if we'd lose our home over cruelty. Mia overheard an argument and asked if the mean lady could really take our house away. I promised her no, though inside, doubt gnawed at every quiet, sleepless hour I spent awake. Then one morning, our concentrator wouldn't start, battery drained, Deborah's overnight inspection having unplugged it silently. For 2 weeks, an uneasy quiet settled. Deborah traveling for a board conference. Fines momentarily paused entirely. I used the break to gather documents, photographs, medical letters, building a folder thick with injustice. A retired nurse next door, Mrs. Alvarez, quietly told me Deborah had bullied her late husband too. She's done this before, Mrs. Alvarez warned. Someone finally needs to stop that woman for good. Deborah returned energized, announcing a new rule banning medical apparatus visible from any public right-of-way. The vote passed unanimously. Board members, all handpicked by her, never dared oppose their queen. That Friday, I left briefly for Mia's hospital appointment, leaving the backup oxygen tank secured outside. I returned to find the tank gone, replaced only by a fresh violation notice taped crookedly. Panicked, I called Deborah, who admitted calmly she'd had hazardous clutter hauled to the dumpster.
Mia spare tank.
Her literal lifeline, now buried under garbage bags in a landfill truck somewhere. I raced to the dumpster company, but the truck had already departed for the county transfer station. Mia's oxygen levels dropped that night. No backup available. An ambulance rushing us to the ER. The doctor said another hour's delay could have caused permanent, irreversible damage to her small lungs. I confronted Deborah on video, camera rolling, demanding she admit what she'd knowingly, cruelly done. She smirked into the lens. I don't answer to disabled sob stories. I answer to bylaws. That clip, posted online, exploded overnight. Thousands calling her the cruelest HOA Karen in America. Reporters called my house. Deborah's board scrambled, publicly distancing themselves, claiming she'd acted alone. Deborah doubled down anyway, filing a restraining order against me, claiming harassment and reputational damage. A judge scheduled an emergency hearing, and Deborah arrived smug, certain her lawyer would crush me. I arrived too, quiet, composed, carrying only a slim folder and my federal identification badge. The bailiff's eyes widened reading my credentials before the judge even called our case number. State your occupation. The judge asked me first, and the courtroom air seemed to still completely. I'm the newly appointed special agent in charge of the FBI's regional field office, I answered. Deborah's smug expression cracked, color draining from her face as reporters scribbled furiously in notebooks. My folder wasn't just complaints. It contained financial records subpoenaed weeks earlier during a separate investigation. Turns out Ashford Pines HOA reserve funds had been quietly siphoned for years into Deborah's accounts. My bureau colleagues, alerted by Mrs. Alvarez's tip, had already been building an embezzlement case discreetly. Deborah's lawyer requested recess, whispering urgently, sensing the ground shifting violently beneath his client's feet. The judge denied the restraining order instantly, calling Deborah's actions reckless endangerment of a minor. Outside the courthouse, 2 federal agents approached Deborah, badges out, asking her to step aside quietly. This is about the HOA fraud, one agent said. Ms. Voss, you're under arrest. Deborah's face twisted, disbelief curdling into rage as cameras captured her humiliating public downfall. You can't do this, she shrieked. I'm the president. I make the rules here. Not anymore, I said calmly, watching handcuffs click shut around wrists that once trapped my daughter's heir. Neighbors gathered, filming, some cheering. Years of suppressed fear finally breaking into open, triumphant relief. Mrs. Alvarez squeezed my hand, tears falling, whispering finally someone believed us. Investigators later revealed Deborah embezzled over $300,000 from HOA landscaping and reserve funds. She'd forged repair invoices for years, funding vacations while claiming residents couldn't afford proper sidewalk maintenance. The dumpster incident, prosecutors argued, showed a pattern of cruelty enabling her broader pattern of theft. Deborah's own son, it emerged, used a home oxygen machine too, hidden from public HOA scrutiny. Her hypocrisy became headline news, mocked nationwide as the ultimate Karen double standard exposed publicly. The board dissolved entirely, replaced by an interim committee overseen by county housing regulators temporarily. New bylaws explicitly protected medical equipment. Disability accommodations enshrined permanently into Ashford Pines governing documents. I stood on our porch that evening, watching Mia breathe easily, finally safe, finally, truly protected. Deborah pleaded guilty months later, sentenced to 4 years, ordered to repay every stolen dollar completely. Neighbors who once avoided us now waved warmly, ashamed of silence, grateful someone finally fought back. Mia laughed on our porch, oxygen tank humming softly beside her. Our home finally, fully, ours again.